I've been selling on Amazon for over 4 years now, and in this video I'm going to give you my top 5 tips if you're new to selling on Amazon FBA. I've been doing it, as I say, full-time, paying myself a full-time income for many years now. Let's dive into the video. So tip number 1 is don't sweat the small stuff. When you're starting out on Amazon, you've got to understand that it's going to take time. It's going to be really, really slow. That progress that you wished you were making is not going to happen overnight. You're going to be thinking to yourself, probably from day one, coming into a few months in, you're going to be thinking, is this thing even working? I can't seem to get any traction. You're going to be checking your sales, checking your profit, and most likely you're going to be losing money when you start out in this business. And that goes for any model you do, whether it's arbitrage, bundles, private label, whatever you're doing. To start with, it's going to be hard to see that momentum. So you've got to be patient. Tip number 2 is be careful of the model that you choose to start with. A lot of people choose a model to start with like private label or like doing unique bundles, which is absolutely fine and, you know, huge potential. But the problem is when you pick a model like that, it takes time. Unless you get a really, really good seller from the off and you've ticked all the boxes, which is quite unlikely unless some sort of mentor is helping you through the process, because you haven't got that experience of selling on Amazon, figuring out what sells, how to rank keywords, etc. To start with, I would recommend doing a model such as arbitrage, such as retail arbitrage, so that you can actually start building that momentum. I know far too many sellers that have started out doing unique bundles that are some quite advanced unique bundles, or started out in private label. The first couple of products haven't worked like they wanted. They lose motivation and they give up. When you do a model like arbitrage, yes, the volume, you're going to have to sell volume to make proper money. We all know that. But I started out in arbitrage and it was one of the best things I did because it built my confidence. You've got to get confidence to start with, confidence in sales. You need to know how you can build that confidence. You need to prove to yourself that you can make money on the platform. Prove to yourself that the Amazon selling model does work, and then later on you slot in the model that works for you. Whether it's launching your own private label brand, whether it's launching loads of unique bundles, and then what you can do is gradually launch them products over your existing product base, and then you can start exiting out of arbitrage if you wanted in the future. But my recommendation is always not focus on the profit to start with, although we would love that, but to actually focus on the confidence it's building you, the skills that you're learning. Tip number 3 is to surround yourself with the right people. There's a few different types of communities in this Amazon selling world. There's types of community that are just really positive and happy, and that's great, and, you know, optimistic. And then there's the types of communities that are not toxic, but a little bit life-sucking. Okay, there's some people that see Amazon as just an okay way to make a little bit of money, and they're not really going for it, and they might be a bit negative to anyone that talks about it in a positive light, and they don't like anyone teaching others how to do it, etc. And a lot of these people are suppressed by their own limitations and their own limiting beliefs. You've got to make sure you're surrounded in the right Facebook groups, the right YouTube channels, the right TikToks, whatever. You need to be surrounded in your little network. The faster you can build up a network of like-minded, positive people that have got good intentions and you're pushing forwards together, the more you're going to become successful in yourself. I've got a few people in just a WhatsApp group that we chat to myself, and all of us are multi-6-figure or 7-figure sellers that have been doing this for many years now, and we spur each other on. And you'll be fascinated to know that if I dump myself into a multi-8-figure group, for example, I can almost guarantee you I would become a multi-8-figure seller if that was the plan for me, because you get influenced by the people you hang around with a lot more than what you know. And this goes for your personal life as well, whether it's your mum, your dad, your sisters, your brothers, whatever. Everyone that you surround yourself with is influencing you in a highly impactful way. So you've got to make sure you're careful who you hang around with inside and outside of work, but especially in the Amazon communities, make sure you're hanging around with the right people that are positive. There's a lot of doom and gloom in a lot of the Facebook groups where people just moan about these tiny little things, and you can't sweat the small stuff. You're on Amazon's playground. The sooner you understand that, the better. You've got to work around the problems they bring to us, not just let yourself get pulled away from it. Otherwise, you may as well not start in the first place. Hey guys, just before we get back to the video, just a quick 20-second interruption to let you know that Awesome is sponsoring this video, and they've kindly offered me £100 off, link below, for their accounting services. I hate bookkeeping and accounting, so I get them to do it for me every single month, and I have done for years. I've been using these guys for a long time. And also there's another link there, £12 to set up a limited company and business bank account, which I used to do that for mine as well. So I hope that helps. Let's get back to the video. Tip number 4 is to not over leverage yourself. A lot of people in this space, what they do is they start out on Amazon. Maybe they've managed to save up £1,000 or £2,000, which is great. And then what they do is prove to themselves that the model works, or maybe something like arbitrage or retail arbitrage, which is small margins and, you know, not the ideal long-term model, in my opinion, that you want to be in, because you want to be in the higher profit brand building sort of ways. But, you know, each to their own. They start out in like a small margin business model within Amazon, like arbitrage, and then what they do is, once they've proved to themselves that they are building momentum, then what they do is they go and take a loan from Amazon, or they'll go and take out loads of credit on credit cards of a high interest rate, or they'll go and get a loan from a bank or from investors, etc. And the problem with this, especially the Amazon loans themselves, is that you have to pay back the percentage, and it puts a lot of pressure on the business. And within Amazon, as anyone that's been selling will know, you have highs and lows, you have seasonalities, okay? Highs and lows within this business model for 99% of people. It's up and down, and it's up and down. And then there can also be unforeseen events, like Amazon can suspend your account whenever they want to. Now, out of most cases, it's not going to be more than like a month or 2 months max. But what would happen if you had a big loan and you had to pay that back in that time? Or what would happen if your sales were slow for 2 or 3 months because of something like, I don't know, let's say coronavirus, right? Okay, so that happened. That was a global crisis. Now, that actually increased sales on Amazon, but what if something happened that decreased sales globally for a few months and you had to do a big pivot? The issue is when people take loads of loans, when they grow faster than what they should, they can get themselves into difficulty, whether it's with the loan sharks they need to pay back, whether it's with the global crisis that happens, or whether it's with Amazon introducing new ways of selling or new restrictions onto your account, etc. You've got to be careful to not over leverage yourself in debt. I took a small loan that was a really low percentage to pay back, that I knew I could pay back. It was about £270 a month I've been paying back for a few years. I could be 10 times the size I am now, guys, but I've never over leveraged myself with debt. I own like 99% of my business right now. All the cash in the bank, all the stock, it's all mine. And yes, I've had slower growth, but it's stable and it's consistent, and I can sleep at night knowing that if all went to crap, I've got a limited company, I've got a good amount of money in there, I can sell all my stock, and then I've kept paying myself a good amount of money as well. So don't over leverage yourself in debt, guys. Tip number 5 is make sure you're tracking your profit and doing all your accounting and everything properly. So now look, in order to track, a lot of people when they're starting out, what they don't do is track their profit. Now I didn't to start with, and it's embarrassing to even look back on this, but I used to use like a repricer. I can't even remember what it's called now. But I used to use a repricer that had some sort of dashboard on it. And the issue with that is that it was giving me my gross profit. And because I was naive in business many years ago back then, and naive to the selling model within Amazon, I had no idea the difference between the gross profit and the net profit within Amazon. And it came to my attention a couple of months after that actually the profit that I thought I was making was not the actual bottom line profit I was making. And I was actually not making much money at all after a couple of months of selling on Amazon, as you probably wouldn't. You know, that's sort of what you expect. But the way I got around this was making sure I was tracking profit correctly. And what I use now is Sellerboard. You can get a 2-month free link to Sellerboard in the link below if you want to check that out, guys. Sellerboard is something that I've used for a long time, and it allows me to type in my cost of goods, and then within the dashboard, I've got many tutorials on this if you want to check it out, look at my channel. It shows you the breakdown of the net profit, the gross profit, because it deducts all the Amazon fees, it deducts all the prep fees if you put them in there, it deducts all your accounting fees, it deducts all of your shipping costs and everything like that, and your advertising costs, so that you can get a true bottom line net figure of what you're making. Because if you haven't got that bottom line net figure of what you're making, then you can't really plan for growth. You can't really figure out the products that are making you profit and products that are losing you money, or you can't really figure out what are your best selling products so that you can make more of them types of products. You can't really plan for growth. You know, you can't project hiring staff if you can't figure out where you should be in the next year. based on the profit that you're making at the moment. So you need to make sure you're tracking this, guys. And that also goes with the accounting and the bookkeeping. You should be getting the profit and loss sheet every month from your accountant. You should be tracking everything that you purchase. Okay, I use Awesome. It's 100 quid off accounting below, guys. If you want to use them, use that link below for Awesome. I'll chuck that there as well. I've been using them for a long time, and what they give me is a profit and loss. I've got a software that I use with Awesome that tracks all of my profit that I'm making with them, and tracks every single card that I'm using for the business, how much I've spent on that card. I've got a chat so I can chat to them anytime. This accounting, your purchase trackers you use for your business, and also most importantly is seller board, so that you can have at least a 99% idea of how much profit you're making, is all really essential, because otherwise you're building the foundations of your business on a rocky patch. You need to be stable down here. You need to have a dashboard so you can check in to roughly know how much profit you're making bottom line, and then you need to have your accountants, your bookkeepers like I've got, that also tracks everything else for you to make sure that you're legal and above board, you're on solid foundations, you know exactly where the business is every single week, every single month, and then you can move forward from there. It's really, really important, guys. So I hope that's helped. Make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, check out the links below for the referrals, and I'll see you in the next video.